In today's video, we're going to talk about Redfin's latest housing market update regarding home prices, home sales, and much, much more. They actually just posted this on November 27th, which is today. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, by the way. It says pending sales posted a big year-over-year increase this week, partly because the boom in early stage home buying demand we saw right after the elections, and also partly because we're comparing to a period in 2023 that included Thanksgiving. So US pending home sales rose by 12.1% year over year during the 4 weeks ended November 24th, the biggest increase since May of 2021. One reason for this outsized increase is that early stage home buying demand, including home tours, boomed in the first 2 weeks following the election. But hats off to them to say this. It says, but another notable reason is that we're comparing to a period in 2023, which included Thanksgiving, a time of the year where home sales are typically very low. So a lot of people take a break during the holidays, during Thanksgiving week, they travel, etc. So you tend to see a decrease in pending home sales and home tours and etc. So I'm hats off to them. They actually included that verbiage. We all know that hats off to them that they included that verbiage. And also this as well. We'll know in the next few weeks whether the increase in pending sales is a Thanksgiving mirage or a sign of sustained strength in our housing market. Please leave me a comment below your thoughts regarding that. Do you guys believe that we're going to see this uptick in pending home sales compared to last year? Or is this just kind of a blip because of the Thanksgiving week that was 1 year ago? Meanwhile, it says here, mortgage purchase applications are up by 12% week over week. That's a definite sign that home buying demand is increasing. But let's actually read on to this article. This is from the MBA, just posted actually today as well. It covers the week ended November 22nd. And here's something that really caught my attention as well. It says the refi index decreased by 3% compared to the previous week, but was up by a whopping 119% compared to the same week 1 year ago. Again, comparing to a week 1 year ago during the Thanksgiving holidays, but that's a giant increase year over year. Meanwhile, the seasonally adjusted purchase index, which is basically an index which measures the amount of people who are submitting loan applications to buy houses, using loans of course, that rose by 12% compared to the previous week. Doesn't have anything to do with holiday season here, or the holiday season, yeah. It's also up by 52% higher compared to the same week 1 year ago, but again, 1 year ago, we had Thanksgiving. And the MBA also touches on this as well. It says applications were significantly higher than a year ago by most measures, but this was compared to the week of Thanksgiving in 2023, which was a week earlier than this year's holiday. Here's something pretty crazy as well, because the share of applications for refis was at 38.8%. So about 4 every 10 applications for home loans was for a refi, but that is down from the 41% we saw in the previous week. Meanwhile, the share of ARMs is very low at 6.6%. Going back to Redfin's update, it says on the selling side, new listings, a measure of people listing their house for sale, rose by 10.6% year over year, the biggest increase since April, but again, comparing to Thanksgiving last year. Like the surge in pending sales, we'll know more about this, whether this improvement in new listings is here to stay. All right, let's talk about mortgage rates, because mortgage rates as of November 26 were at 6.95% according to the Mortgage News Daily. That's down from the 7.08% rate we saw 1 week ago. Also down compared to a year ago. 1 year ago, we're at 7.3%. Now we're at around 7%. Also, Redfin's Homebuyer Demand Index, which of course is a measure of home tours and other home buying services, was down 5% from a month ago, but it was up by 7% from 12 months ago. Touring activity, this is according to Showing Time. They measure the amount of people or amount of real estate agents who are showing houses to their clients. This is in North America, by the way. That was down by 8% compared to the start this year. At this time last year, though, it was down by a whopping 42% from the start of 2023. So quite the improvement to say the least. Google searches for houses for sale is unchanged from last month and 1 year ago. Okay, let's talk about prices and much, much more. This report covers the 4 weeks ended November 24th. They look at 400 plus metros, and their weekly data goes back through 2015. So if you ever hear the word record, it only goes back to 2015 based on data from Redfin. Of course, it's subject to revision. So their median sale price on a national level, just under 387,000. That's a giant increase, up by 7% year over year. We have been paid around 4 to 5% for quite some time. This is the biggest increase since September of 2022. So that year-over-year gain is more or less a 2-year high. Asking prices are up by 5.4%. Also, your median monthly mortgage payment is up by 2% year over year. Now, here's where it gets really, really interesting. Take a look at this. Pending home sales was at just under 72,000 during the previous 4 weeks. That's up by 12.1%. Again, the biggest increase since May 2021. New listings also surged as well, up by 11%. The biggest increase since April, but again, all because of the holiday, or partially due to the holiday. Active listings rose by 12.4%. That was the smallest increase since March this year. Let's have a look at that. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So here's active listings. So if you guys want to see home prices absolutely crater, inventories moving in the opposite direction. It's normal to see inventory peak in late summer and then decrease for the remainder of the year. We are at at least a 3-year high right now, but it's actually moving down quite a bit. In fact, the year-over-year gain, this is this year, black is 2022, in blue is last year, and in orange is in 2021. So let's actually just get rid of 21 and 22 to see this. I mean, you can see here last year, inventory peaked very, very late, back in mid-November. This year, it peaked in more or less September. So we're up by 12.37%, but this is actually the smallest year-over-year gain going all the way back until the 4 weeks ended March 17th this year. Before that, we saw much higher gains, up by about 22% in May. We saw a 25% increase more or less in June and July, and big increases over 20% until we hit really October this year, where inventory started to decrease at a faster pace compared to last year. Let's also have a look at how each of the 50 most populous metros fared. This is a big change because there's only one metro that is down year over year regarding the median sale price. That's Tampa, Florida, down by 1%. So it only decreased in one metro. 2 months ago, though, there was 8 metros that were down. That's this right here. Austin, Texas, Latin Nation down by 5.7%. Then we had Oakland, Dallas, Tampa, and Denver rounding out the top 5. 8 metros down year over year. Now there's only 1. In contrast, the biggest increase is Philadelphia, up by a staggering 21.8%. If you guys have any insights regarding that, I don't know the Philadelphia market at all, but if you guys live there or know anyone who does, please leave me a comment below with your thoughts regarding that. I'm guessing they're probably seeing a huge decrease of inventory there. I mean, that's a giant gain. That's crazy. After that, we have New York, New Jersey up by 17%, Miami up by 14%, Cleveland also up by 14%, and Detroit, Michigan up by 13%. Now, pending sales only decreased in 3 metros. That's wild. Actually, I haven't read this yet. So this means that 47 of the 50 biggest metros has a gain of pending home sales compared to 1 year ago. In fact, the biggest increase is San Jose, California. Then we have New York, San Francisco up by 24%, wild. Dallas up by 22%, Las Vegas up by 20%. Quite the turnaround in these markets. The 3 metros that decreased were Miami, West Palm Beach, Florida, and Fort Lauderdale, Florida. In regards to new supply in the market, it only decreased in 4 metros. That means that new listings increased in 46 of the 50 biggest cities. The biggest increase is San Francisco, up by 31%. Then we have DC, Seattle, New York, and also Baltimore, Maryland. And in contrast, the biggest declines, there's only 4 of them. Austin, Texas, down by 14.2%. San Antonio, down by nearly 10%. Atlanta saw a decrease of 5.5%. And Orlando, Florida, barely down by 0.1%. Here's a chart looking at the US's median sale price. It has been kind of leveling off as of late. It should be decreasing by now. As you can see let's just look at 2023, for example. Home prices peaked around July, which is normal, just like we saw in 2022, peaked around June and July. This year, it also peaked around that time as well, but this is highly unusual to see this increase this time of year. Again, we saw that in 2021 because back in August, rates decreased to very close to all-time record lows, down to about 2.8% for an average 30-year fix. So again, it makes sense that home prices decrease for the remainder of the year. In contrast, much different dynamics happening this year right now. Pretty crazy. Asking prices have been decreasing ever since really October, which is normal. Your average monthly housing payment is at $2,584 per month at the 6.84% rate. That's higher than last year, slightly, and also higher than 2022 and 21. So for example, at this time in 2021, your average monthly housing payment was around $1,600. Now it's approximately $1,000 higher today per month. Meanwhile, pending home sales rose by 12%, which is right in line with 2022, which is right there, but higher than 2023. Of course, not nearly as high as the same time frame in 2021. Same goes for new listings. It is higher compared to last year, up by 11%. Also higher compared to 2022, but still lagging behind 21 and also lagging behind pre-COVID levels as well. Also, the month supply has been decreasing as of late. It's only at 3.9 months. 1 year ago, the month supply was at 3.7 months. Again, moving in the opposite direction if you guys want to see home prices crater. Month supply is actually going down, more or less in line with last year as well as 2022. Let's also have a look at how fast or how slow houses are selling. On average, is at 42 days. This means that it's taking about 1 week longer to sell a house compared to 1 year ago. And that, by the way, is at least a 3-year high during the same time frame. In regards to the average sale price to final list price ratio, that's at 98.6%. This means out of all the houses that did close or the sale was finalized, they sold on average 1.4 percentage points less than the seller's asking price. Again, this is national trends though. Areas like in Austin, Texas, for example, their ratio is at very low levels. Houses selling way under asking on average, but the national average is at 1.4 percentage points less than the seller's final list price. That, by the way, is actually higher than 2022, which is actually a big change because look at the start of the year. To start the year, this year, that ratio was at 98.25% approximately. Back in 2022, it was actually over 100%. 100% means that houses on average sold for the seller's final list price. Then it actually cratered, obviously, when rates doubled, inventory doubled. So pretty remarkable that the market was still declining for the entire year, whereas this year it's going down, but not nearly the same trajectory we saw in 2022. We also could get into a scenario in which that ratio is actually higher than 2023 as well, because as you can see, the ratio was decreasing at a faster clip compared to this year so far. And with that said, if you guys want a real estate agent referral, then please email me at jason@meetjasonwalter.com, or please check out my website, which is realestateteamfinder.com. There also you can apply for a loan as well, whether you want to refi or buy a house in California. Also, my business partner, James Black, or Jim Black, I should say, is licensed in about half of the country right now. Just made that move about 1 week ago. We'll make a video regarding that here maybe next week. Anyways, hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving holiday. I appreciate you guys so much. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next video.